Welcome to the Dog Trainers Podcast, a podcast created by dog trainers for dog trainers or anyone who's ever fallen in love with man's best friend.
What you were just talking about, the difference between learning how to conform to the dog and teach from the perspective of the dog. That's something that I do really wish more balanced dog trainers. I mean, balanced dog training has become such a, almost like a dirty word these days that Brent and I have been kind of working on coming up with something new because it's
Or just no label, just dog training.
Right. Like,
I don't remember if we had talked about that before, but that was a huge revelation to me that you guys don't like the term balanced trainer anymore. Like it's the same with a lot of us R+ trainers. It's become like this label that like, man, it's I feel like when people call me an R+ trainer, they are expecting me to represent this whole group of people. And it's like, I'm me, I train the way I train. And like, I understand the need for labels, but at the same time, I wish there weren't labels.
Right. And unfortunately, it's like you accidentally have to represent the extreme negative sides of your label, right? And so it's like, you know, I have a lot of friends who are vegan, and I was vegan for a couple months to try it out, but you know, the ones that really put you down, I know a lot of vegans too. And there's some, there's great vegans. And then there's, like, it's the same thing with anything. Like there's some people that are crazy about jujitsu. Like what is with all the trainers in jujitsu? Like
some weirdos.
Every trainer I've talked to lately, even yesterday I was working creature and this dude starts talking about jujitsu. I'm like, what the hell is up with this?
It's just that it's the new cool thing. It's a
new cool thing. I was a black belt in Taekwondo when I was 11.
Whoa. No big deal. Gee,
try jujitsu.
Just threw that in there.
I did boxing for a long time when I was younger, but I started jujitsu. I mean, number one, it's super fun and it's a great exercise, a great way to get out there, and it's very like low impact. It sounds weird to say because people like choking and cranking you and stuff like that, but it's easy on your joints though.
Wait, what does that say about you though?
Let's not go down that path. But so the thing about it though is it's one of those sports you can tone it up or down very effectively. Like boxing, when I have kids, how do I like spar with my children? But I can roll with them.
Right.
I can like play soccer with them. And jiu-jitsu is that thing to where it's practical, it's fun, it's a hell of a work. It's probably like the second hardest workout I've ever done behind just swimming laps.
Well, it's full body.
And it's super hard because you're actively working against someone. It's not just a weight that sits there until you're ready. It's like, are you sure? Let's go. And it's harder to breathe when someone's like cranking your neck. And it's an amazing way to get yourself out there. And I love, like we talked about before, it's so hard. Everybody who does it is so cool because they're like, yeah, I get it, man. It's hard. You got choked. I got choked too. It's no big deal. Josh chokes everybody or whatever. And it's like the best thing.
That's so
pain.
I could see it. No, like I could see it. Like, yeah, for sure. It seemed odd to me that like, I feel like I've heard that jiu-jitsu more in the last 2 weeks than I've ever heard in my entire life.
So you're saying a lot of dog trainers are into jiu-jitsu.
Apparently, yes, a lot of dog trainers.
You should totally try it. I'm like, you should try jiu-jitsu and elk meat. No, you should try it.
There is a place right down the street, but no.
They do like free trials.
I'm sure they do.
That's how they get you.
That's how they get you. They'll choke you one good time.
My old excuse used to be that I would perform, like when I worked for Purina, I have to perform and I do like halftime shows and stuff like that. And like, I couldn't be broken, but now I'm just like, I don't want to be broken. Thanks, but
it doesn't sound good.
No.
Not good at all. Well, that's awesome. Is there any, so you mentioned your Facebook group, anything that you want to tell our audience, I guess, like what is your ultimate, do you like anything that you recommend for new up and coming dog trainers?
Ask questions, always ask questions. It's one thing I wish I would have done more when I was learning. I was more the silent absorb type and then assumed things rather than just asking questions. So if there's something that you're not sure or you're not convinced it's going to work, just ask. And odds are they'll have an explanation for you and you can start a conversation that way. But yeah, that's definitely the thing. Other than that, join my Facebook group. I love it. It's fantastic.
Yeah. I'm going to join too. Mariano just signed up.
I just did. I just found it on Facebook. I sent the transaction ID and the email.
It's literally just me training my dogs a lot and then answering questions.
Hey, no, it's a network. It's an opportunity.
I love it.
Building friends. It's totally, yeah. So, thank you so much for being on it. And we definitely have to have you back.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. You guys are great.
I would love that. Thank you so much thanks again for agreeing to being on here. And just your knowledge and you just have a good attitude about this whole thing, which we love. If those of you guys who want to follow Sara Brueske, you guys can find her on Instagram at ZOOMDOG, but it's Zoom with 3 O's. So it's ZOOM dog. And you could also follow her crow, Penguin the Crow, at Penguin_the_crow. Can you tell us a little bit about him real quick?
Yeah, Penguin. She's a girl. Yeah, Penguin. She is an African pied crow that I purchased from a breeder. So she was not caught in the wild or anything like that. Okay. The reason why I wanted a crow was because I wanted to do falconry, but I knew I didn't have the time to be able to go out and fly a bird and find a mentor and all that stuff. And so I've had birds in the past. I had an African gray named Goose.
Nice.
And Penguin is like a flying Malinois. Her work ethic is insane. Her food drive is crazy. Her toy drive is crazy. She keeps me 100% entertained. I feel like training a different species is a huge thing that everybody should do.
Yep.
But she is a flying Malinois and she needs to be worked multiple times a day. And so, she has a whole room to herself.
I just heard that crows are like either the smartest bird or one of the smartest animals or something like that they're extremely intelligent. I saw a video of a guy who he had his crow would go, he had like a convertible car. He would go to the car, sit in the car because it's open on the top. And once the owner gets to there and turns on the car, the crow gets out and will fly alongside the car. It's insane what they're capable of.
That's insane. Yeah, she's amazing. What I like about training birds is that you can't make them do anything. They're just going to fly away. And so it really makes you evaluate your training style and your methods and like to fix it or fit it to that bird. I won't ever free fly her just because she's not a native species. And if she does get loose or when she does get loose, it's going to be a problem. And so, and she wasn't really well socialized as a young bird. And so she's extremely flighty about new things. And so the odds are that something would scare her outside and then her take off and not be able to return home is pretty high. And so, but she gets free flight in the house and different buildings. I'll bring her to training buildings and she gets to fly around there. And
I love
she's
that.
really cool. She travels with me all the time.
That's super. What other animals have you trained?
I clicker trained my horse when I was younger.
Love that.
Yeah, I did. My cats for when I went through Karen Pryor Academy, I clicker trained the cats. Dogs are really my favorite. Huh? Yeah. I did the targets and go to place and, sit pretty and all the easy stuff. But the dogs are definitely by far easier than everything else.
Isn't that funny how that works? It's like,
well, it's almost like they evolved for,
it's weird. Yeah.
It's so strange. All the things you take for granted.
Yeah. Sheer happenstance.
Yeah, exactly.
It was accidental. 32.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, Sara, again, thank you. Thank you you're just awesome. Awesome.
Oh, you guys are great.
I would really love, maybe like in a year or so, we're just going to visit everybody and do
a tour. Do a tour.
Yeah.
Hey, that'd be fun. Like a vlog tour.
All right, bro. We're gonna have to take like a couple weeks off and just start on the West Coast.
When COVID's not a thing, go everywhere.
Yeah. Well, the vaccine's already out and stuff like that. So yeah, for sure. Like in a year's time, then we can start jumping around and saying hi to everybody.
But then the next COVID, they need the super vaccine.
Stop.
COVID-20.
There's no more COVID. Stop it.
Yeah. I'll tell. Well, when we cut, I'll tell you about that one movie, but it's very scary. Anyways,
Contagion.
No, it's Songbird. It's called. But anyways, let's go ahead and close off this podcast. Anyways, those of you guys who again want to follow Sara Brueske, go ahead and follow her at Zoom. Oh gosh, ZOOMDOG at ZOOMDOG with 3 O's. It's ZOOM dog. And again, if you guys found value in this podcast, please go ahead and share this with at least one other person. And also, those of you guys who are listening to us on any particular platform, please go ahead and leave us a review. If you guys liked any one of our episodes or this particular episode, go ahead and leave us a review. We show up more naturally in the searches. We want to thank everybody again who's been listening and helped spreading the word of the Dog Trainers podcast. We're getting more and more people on social media every day, more and more listeners and downloads every single day. And we just really want to thank you guys again for participating. Again, Sara, thank you so much for joining us. And this was episode 43, our interview with Sara Brueske. My name is Brent LaBrada, and that guy is Mariano Alvarez. And we will see you guys in episode 44. Peace.
Thank you for listening to the Dog Trainers Podcast, a podcast created by dog trainers, for dog trainers, or anyone who's ever fallen in love with man's best friend.
We really hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and we hope to see you back for the next one. But in the meantime, please follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Dog Trainers Podcast. Go ahead and leave a comment. Ask us any questions that you want. We would love to connect with our dog trainer communities all around the world. Take care, guys. We'll see you next time.